Okay, I'm just going to do a video about something that I think is quite interesting, quite relevant to young people, I think, and that is how much time do you spend socialising? So obviously, like, some people are big extroverts, others are very introverted. So I know, for example, I know some people who will never spend their free time on their own. They'll always be with friends, to the point where, although on the surface it looks very healthy, it almost is unhealthy to an unhealthy extent, because they haven't learned how to spend any time on their own. And more typically, which is probably the example people are more aware of, is where people spend an unhealthy amount of time on their own, just on their computer or whatever it is, you know. And it's a very sad thing when that happens, because I think no matter where you stand on the spectrum of being introverted or extroverted, and I do believe largely that exists, that there's, you know, extroverted people and there are introverted people, but no matter what place you are on the scale, I think you are still a social person at heart. People still need those interactions with others quite a lot. People often like to differ with that. They think it's fine, you know, if someone wants to spend all their time alone, that's fine, they're just an introvert, leave them to it. I don't think it's quite that black and white. But anyway, we'll get into that. But you have introverts and extroverts, and then there's kind of this other category of people being ambiverted, which I think is quite an interesting category. I'll explain it to you guys, those of you who don't know, because this sort of idea of being ambiverted I find very compelling. I relate with it a lot as well. So I think most people are ambiverted in as much as they are a mixture, or they're somewhere on the scale, you know, it's not just black and white like I was saying. So ambiverted, as you might have guessed, is a mixture of being both socially, like, you enjoy spending time on your own, but you also get energy from other people, like socialising and stuff, but you also need time to recharge as well. And so, to get back to what I was saying, I think most people, by and large, are some kind of ambivert. You know, they enjoy spending time with other people as an important part of their life, but they also need time to recharge. And you get straddlers either side, but I think a lot of people are in this category, and the big question to ask is, if you feel you do need time to recharge socially, how much should you do it? Now, like I say, I still see myself as falling into this ambiverted category, and you know, I think you can take these things too seriously, but for what it's worth, I definitely believe that's the category I fall into. And so it's been a question to me as to, you know, that's been a big question: how much time do I spend socialising? How much time should I be allowing myself to recharge? And you see, for a long while I saw the need to recharge socially as being quite a negative thing, because I thought, I still think that socialising is a very important part of life, and you should be able to do it as much as you can. So my attitude to socialising was rather kind of just overloading myself And the problem with that is that you don't recharge in the way you need to, and you don't really. If you get into the habit of just overloading yourself socially, you might not actually realise how beneficial recharging is, and how much more you enjoy socialising if you have given yourself time to recharge. But I saw this as a kind of weakness that that I would need to recharge from a social event, particularly like if it was at university, like going out partying, staying up late. The idea that I need to recharge from that, I don't know, I thought it made me quite weak. Made me seem quite weak that I needed that. So I was very much in denial that I should need to recharge. But, like I say, the problem with that is if you don't give yourself a chance to recharge, what you end up doing is even though you don't realise it, you just end up falling onto other crutches, other vices. So, like, to use the example of university, I think just get to the point where I wouldn't be able to socialise without getting drunk first, because that's the only thing that gives me enough energy to be talkative and to engage with people, get myself outside my body, and that's not good. When in reality, all I'd need is maybe one night just chilling out, doing other things, and then the day after, I wouldn't even need to drink to feel, I probably would because it's, it wasn't that environment. But then the next day, just get out, and I'm more present in the social environment because I've had time to recharge. And this is my experience that I've had recently, where I've been more forced to spend periods of time alone, just working on my course and stuff. And what I find is that actually I'm much more. Suddenly when I am in a social scenario, I'm just so much more present and so much more fun to be around. Which is great. And then the other thing I want to say is that I think when you take a sort of breaks from socialising, as it were, doesn't mean you need to just completely take a break from everything. I think you might find that your brain's very tired from socialising, but you'd be very capable and probably more capable than you would be had you not socialised, because your mind's refreshed to do some work or something like that. So, like if I'm taking it, a few days where I'm not socialising, if I'm working, I'm working very hard and stressing my brain, putting my brain under stress to, memorise content or whatever it happens to be. But then, when you go back into it, and then, how do I phrase this? It doesn't feel like you're resting. You're just resting a different part of your brain. Much like, you might exercise different areas of the body. You do a chest day, you do a biceps day, like a pull, push day, do a legs day. So that's another way to think about it. Life's very rich and a lot of different things you need to do. Socialising is a big part of it, but it's not binary, So yeah, that's my thoughts on it. And very quickly you find yourself coming in touch with what works for you. But I think don't be in denial about your need to recharge socially and stuff like that. 'Cause it just gets you in a bit of a downward spiral. Doesn't end very well, and you have to sort of confront it at some point. Much better to be frank about it with yourself and confront it as soon as possible, so you can understand it.